Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video. So here I am back with another tier list. Again, this is from your guys' nomination. Last week I made a post in the community section, top animes, like you guys nominate the animes and I'm going to make a tier list of it. Here we are. It's been 1 week and I have a list of I think 56 or something like that shows, and I'm going to put them in the different tiers. Now, before we begin, there's a few things I need to say. Number one, as you can see, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tiers. Ultimate animes, where I'll put the very special ones, very special animes that I think. SS tier, S tier, A tier, and B tier, and the not watched tier. Here I'm going to put all the animes that I've not watched, which is very less, but there are a few of them which I have not actually watched, so I cannot obviously judge what they are about and how they are. So that's number one. Number two, I've included two animes of my own. Like most of the animes that you guys have given me has all of the animes that I love, so I did not need to put much in. Two animes I put. I'm going to tell what those are. The first one that I included is an anime that you guys probably might not know. Like it's quite underrated. I've never heard people talk about. It's Astra Lost in Space. I don't know if you guys have heard it or watched it, but I included that. Another one that I included is Madoka Magica. Other than that, all the other animes here are from your guys' nominations. Number three that I need to mention is, since there's it's like 50 or 56 of them, I've seen a lot of people kind of specify what part of a certain anime they like. For example, in Monogatari series, there's a comment where someone said like, I liked Owari Monogatari, while there was another thing where I saw that someone said that from the Fate series, I loved the Fate Heaven's Feel, I think 2 or 3, something like that. So I did not do it like that, because otherwise the list would become even more. For example, Jojo as well. There's a lot of sections that like Jojo part 5, someone likes something else, so I included them all in one. I'm going to put them in the tiers and I'm going to talk about each of the parts and say which part I like the most. That's how I'm going to do it. So all of them are kind of compiled in one thing. For example, I only put one for Jojo, this one. The Dio's face I put, this is for Jojo. This is representing Jojo. So here, this one I'll put in one of the tiers and I'm going to talk about which part I like the most. That's how I'm going to do it, so that the video doesn't get even longer. So yeah, these are the things that I wanted to mention. And obviously this week I'm going to do top animes, and after this video is uploaded, another within one more day, I'm going to put another community post with another the thing where you guys can nominate something else and another theme, and I'll make a tier list the week later. That's how I'm going to continue doing this. So yeah, enough about that. That's all about the intro. Let us begin. And as always, this is my opinion on all of this. I'm sure there's a lot of animes that I'll have to put in the lower tiers, but it's just that's not my preference. So yeah, it's all based on my opinion. So yeah, let us begin. So first one, Konosuba. And here you go, SS tier. I'm going to talk a lot lesser about these animes because there's a lot of them, and otherwise the video will become too long, so I'll not talk much about them. I'll just give my basic opinions. So Konosuba, SS tier, and obviously this is definitely deserving of the SS tier because Konosuba is an anime which I think is really good at the comedy, and I feel like very less anime are able to reach that reach that potential. Like there's a lot of comedy animes in anime, but most of the time it's either hit or miss. But there's very few animes that actually is hilarious. For example, Konosuba is one of them, and there's a lot of others as well. A few of them are also in the list, which I'm going to talk about later on. But I feel like Konosuba has been able to capture that comedy thing very well. Another thing that's so good about this is it's isekai. Now, isekai is a genre which a lot of people have a lot of things to say, but generally I think everyone loves isekai. It's just that how people do isekai nowadays is like the same plot, copy paste, That's what people don't like. So isekai in itself is such a great genre, like you go to a different world, and there's like so many different adventures and everything, and if done well, isekai is amazing. So it's not that people don't like isekai, but people don't like the fact that it's the same plot copy pasted. So Konosuba being an isekai and a comedy anime and does both of them so well, that's why I think this show is so popular and everyone loves it. And it's definitely deserving of an SS tier. And I love how the characters are just so weird and hilarious. It's amazing. Like, like this show is completely carried by the characters. Like all the characters are just amazing. And yeah, SS tier, definitely deserving of it in my opinion. Okay, the next one, this is the one which I put, Astra Lost in Space. I'm going to put this in the S tier. Now, like I said, I feel like majority of the people who watch anime probably has not even heard of this show. And since this is, I never really see anyone talking about this. Astra Lost in Space is an anime that I watched and I instantly loved, because it has such a unique way of like it's such a unique plot. And I can't say much things, and it's basically like like if a few like kids in space, that's just it. I'm just going to say that, because there's so many plot twists coming, especially towards the end of the anime, that I was just really spellbound. I was like, wow, this is really good. So I don't know why I never see people talking about this, but in my personal opinion, I love this anime. I just love it so much, and I'll probably never forget it, because it's such a unique one I actually came across. And the animation is really good as well. I love the animation as well, but all in all, as like a whole package, this is one show that is so amazing that, yeah, I thought like I had to include this in this. And that's why it's a solid S tier. It's a really good show if you've not watched it, and if you want to watch it, you can go check this one out. I'm pretty sure you'll like it. Like it has space exploration, going to different planets, this and that. It's really good. So yeah, you can watch this if you want to, because I don't know, like in my opinion, I loved it. I really loved it, and I barely see any people talking about it. That's why I just included this. So there you go, S tier. The next one, Kara no Kyokai. Now again, Kara no Kyokai has a lot of movies in it. I included all of them in one bunch, so that it's easier to talk about it. I'm going to put Kara no Kyokai at, okay, this is a tough one. SS tier. I think it's deserving of SS tier. Kara no Kyokai is, oh boy, it's amazing. Like it's a show that I feel like you need to. I don't know. I feel like this is like not only Kara no Kyokai. I feel like most of the Type Moon stuff, like a lot of people will like, a lot of people will not like. Like people who will probably love it so much that they'll put it in very high tiers, and people who are not accustomed to these type of things and don't like have not seen much of these, would probably put them in a very low tier. They would probably not like it. It's kind of like that. I feel like Fate, Type Moon stuff, all of them are kind of like that. Like you either love it or you don't understand. That's why you don't don't like it. Like it all like kind of comes down to that, because it has quite a few things that you need to understand, not only about the anime show itself, but it's all like its background and everything. Otherwise it won't feel fun. And I feel like a lot of people who just are new to these franchises, they kind of jump in these animes, kind of watch it, and they're like, oh my god, I don't understand what's happening, what's this, why does this work like this, and they kind of get bored and kind of just like drop it. But there are people who really get interested in it and go more deeper into it, and that's how they are able to find a charm in Type Moon shows. So I feel like that's why it's either really high up or it's kind of in the low tiers for different people. For me, obviously, I'm a big huge Type Moon fan. It's definitely in the SS tier, and it has, I think, Kara no Kyokai has like 5 or 6 movies. I watched all of them. I reacted to them on my channel, and it was a fantastic journey. I loved it. And yeah, like it's and obviously it was done by Ufotable, I think. Yeah, the animations, I think so. Yeah, so obviously animation is top notch, and the atmosphere and everything. Like I love Type Moon stuff, like the atmosphere that Type Moon can bring out is so amazing. So yeah, that's why SS tier, definitely. Okay, the next one, Spy Family. All right, now this is a show that I'm going to put in the S tier for now. I feel like this is going to go higher up. This is one show that has barely started, so as I said, I think this is going to go higher up. This is probably an SS tier anime. But for now, since we're barely getting started, and I feel like we need another season after this, which is going to come very soon. I think, I don't know when it's going to come, but it's probably going to come like after 3 or 4 months. So after we get a bit deeper into the story, I feel like I'm going to really love this. But for now, it's a really good start. And like they say, like the more the anime kind of goes on, like 2 3 seasons, if it's a good anime, it gets better and better. And I feel like Spy Family will become one of those animes because it has high potential. I love the anime. I read the first few chapters of the manga. I love the manga as well. That's why, when the anime came out, I was so excited. And it's still ongoing, and I feel like this has potential in going a lot higher up. It does comedy so well. It has very unique thing where there's like an esper, a spy, and an assassin. And I love how everyone in this show has like a secret identity. The whole mission that Lloyd has, Anya's own esper abilities, which kind of she has a few problems with. You're trying to hide her own job for everyone, and them trying to become a good family with fake smiles in their face, but at the same time it's not so fake because they genuinely are going to become in the future a good family. I think most probably that's how it's going to go. So it's really good. It has such a unique theme, and I love it. And obviously, the adaptation, I think it's really good. With Studio and Cloverworks, it's just amazing. So yeah, definitely S tier. I'm definitely sure this is going to go higher up as we see more of this show. So it's an SS tier easily. It's going to become an SS tier. So there you go, Spy Family. All right, daily lives of high school boys. Oh my god, this show. Now, I would love to put this in S tier, but I think I have to put this in A tier because it's a comedy anime, but it does the comedy so I don't know. Oh my god, I feel like I should put this in S tier. What should I do here? Nah, you know what? No, I need to be a little bit harsher. I would have put this in S tier, but like I said, there's a whole B tier just lying empty here. I also need to put stuff here as well. So, okay, A tier. I love this show. This is one show that is just, oh boy, when I watch this, the you feel so relatable with this show. It's crazy, the things that the jokes that they make and everything, it's so relatable. If you're like a high, like obviously everyone must have has gone through this phase of having friends and everything, and there's so many things that are so relatable, just goofing off with your friends, weird stupid stuff, doing it with them. And that makes this so much better. The comedy is on point. I feel like the comedy here is just so amazing. I would probably rate this only in the comedy department. I would probably rate this SS tier if it was only comedy that I'm looking at. I'm looking at everything. It is a whole anime. The comedy in itself is an SS tier material. I loved the comedy in this show. But like I said, if this show was done in a better way, a few more seasons, and kind of we go like, I don't even know how I think the manga is kind of like this, it's kind of just friends having fun. But still, if this had like a multiple seasons and it kind of just went a little bit more, I feel like I could have easily put this in an S tier. But comedy in itself is SS tier material. The jokes in this show are just amazing. It's just so good, and it's hilarious. The daily life of high school boys is A. I would love to put this in S tier, but I think I should put it in A tier. But like I said, the comedy in itself is SS tier material. But as an anime as a whole, I'll have to put this in A tier. So yeah, really good show. Okay, Tamako Market. Now, I've not watched this, unfortunately. I'll put it in not watched portion. But I've heard of this. like I've heard of this a lot. I think this is like a slice of life show, and I don't know what it is about though. But I've seen the posters and everything, and but I never got enough time to watch it. So maybe on my spare time I'll probably watch it in the future. But for now I have no clue about this. So yeah, that's why it's like in the not watched list. Hunter x Hunter. Okay, well, I'll put this in S tier. Unfortunately, I feel like I said, and I'm sure a lot of people will be like, oh, why is it not S tier? Like I'm sure this Hunter x Hunter is probably ultimate anime for a lot of people. But for me, I loved Hunter x Hunter. Don't get me wrong. But I'll have to put it in S tier because here in Hunter x Hunter, if I had to judge, like if I take out Hunter x Hunter completely and if I only take out the Chimera Ants arc, I would put that in SS or even more, of probably in the ultimate anime tier. Only the Chimera Ants arc. Since this is not only the Chimera Ants arc, it's all included, like the first portion, the next portion, the whole Phantom Troop arc, all that, then the last election arc, all that. Since it's all included, that's why I'm putting this in S tier. Chimera Ants arc in itself was top notch, like a really good section. I loved it so much. It's one of the best things I've ever seen, and as a whole, it has such an amazing story. It was the not first time I would say, but it's like one of the rare sequences where you actually start to empathize with the enemy, and it was such an amazing story. I just loved it. But as a whole, like I said, I'll have to put this in S tier. I'm sorry about this because as I said, a lot of people will probably not like this, because for a lot of people this is probably SS or ultimate tier list. For me, it's an S tier though. Now, one thing I need to talk about Hunter x Hunter is one thing I loved about this show is how it took the whole shonen formula and kind of twisted it in a way. You look at this show and you feel like, oh, this is a shonen show. Friends running around going towards their goal, normal stuff. But if you go deeper into the show, you'll understand by the by the middle portion in the Chimera Ants arc and everything, Gon is a complicated character. He's not one of those shonen characters, he's not that happy type of a character. He has such a weird, not weird I would say, but such an interesting personality. It's crazy. I remember realizing by the middle of the show that Gon, I think Killua also kind of mentioned this, which is so amazing. Gon has a very unusual innocence, which is just kind of creepy at times. He looks at everything in a very childlike innocence. He looks at bad things, good things, each and everything. He doesn't discriminate in anything. Looks at everything in a childlike innocence, and that's what's scary about him. His morality is nuts, and that's what makes him so interesting as a character. I feel like I've not seen a character like this ever before, especially in a shonen anime. A person who actually does not have morality. He's just curious about everything, even bad things. I remember there's that one section, I don't remember which part, but there was a part where someone, I think it was the part where they go to like an island. There's like a game show. You remember that part with the cards and everything? I remember there's one section there where there was one person who he got to know is someone who did bad stuff. He didn't look at him in any different way. He just looked at him in a childish, curious, innocence, filled way, and he asked him how he did that. I don't properly remember the details, but there was a section like this where Killua later on kind of points that out, that at that moment all he was curious about is what power he has and what he does. It's not that what he did was wrong. He doesn't care about that. His morality is like that. He's just childish, and that innocence field thing which cannot discriminate between a good and a bad thing. And the whole thing with, you remember in Chimera Ants arc, the whole thing with Kite that happened, where he actually becomes a monster, and the whole thing where Gon, who is a human, becomes a monster little by little, while Meruem, I don't think these are spoilers, Meruem, who is a monster, becomes little by little human, is so crazy, and that's where we actually get to see Gon's morality. Like, his he has like a one-tracked mind, and it's crazy, and it's done so well that it's one of the most beautiful things of Hunter x Hunter, and I would never probably forget this ever again, like, ever. So I'm glad that the manga is starting again. Maybe in the future we'll have some upcoming, like, some new seasons or something. We'll have to wait. But yeah, Hunter x Hunter S tier. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I'll have to put this in SS tier. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is a show which I heard a lot of good things about, but I started very, like, I was like 5 years watching anime. I've still not watched Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and then I was like, okay, let me just watch it. I watched it and I was just mind blown. It was so good. It was, oh boy, like, I remember the whole like the whole thing with, like there's so many things in this show, like people's, what can I say, like, they feel like a lot of philosophical, like, sections. Not only that, the whole thing about right, wrong, this, and, like, all that stuff. I cannot, like, properly pinpoint everything because it's been a while I've watched this. Like, it's been 4 years I've watched this. Like, I started this very late, but it's been a while I've watched this, so I don't remember much details. But I do remember I loved that whole, like, like, section of in the end, the whole like, his confrontation with Truth. I think that's what you called him, the one with the completely blank face, who was in his, like, thing, the whole gate thing. He was there, always stayed there. He was the one who, like, had no face, that thing. I really loved. I cannot, you can probably understand, I cannot remember most of the things, but I do remember I had a really good time with this, and especially towards the end, this gets so engaging, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, that it's really good. Like, like how, like, different, like, I remember, like, enemy, like, people who are our enemies or kind of join us by the end of it, and I was excited so much. Like, every episode I was like, oh my god, what's going to happen next? And it was a great, amazing, like, show. That's why Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood SS tier. It's a solid show. Even though I barely remember anything, I remember, like, the fun, the amazing time I had. Okay, the next one, Code Geass. I've not seen this. Yeah, that's definitely a shocker to a lot of people. But I've talked about this before as well. I kind of plan on actually reacting to this on my channel in the future when I get time. But Code Geass, I've not seen it actually. So yeah, I cannot say anything about it. Beelzebub, nope, not watched it. I do know these characters. I know. I think this guy is, this little kid is like someone related to Satan or something. I think that's all I know, and that's it. I've seen the characters a lot of times, but I barely know anything about this. So yeah. Okay, ReZero. ReZero. Oh boy, where should I put this? I think I need to be a little bit harsh. Like I said, there's two parts kind of. I've not even put anything in the B tier. What the hell? So yeah, A tier, ReZero. I was kind of hesitating and thinking about putting it in the S tier, but no, I have to put it in the A tier. However, I think this is going to increase in ranking in the tier as we get more seasons, because this is barely the start, I think, of ReZero. There's so many things, like, I think the light novel is in very ahead, a lot ahead. So there's so many portions that are still left to be, I think, animated. So this is definitely going to go higher up. But for now, I'm going to put it in the A tier. ReZero is good, really good. Like, it has a lot of suffering though, but as a show, it's a solid one. And yeah, like, nothing much to talk about it, like, like, because talking about this show probably, like, just giving out spoilers. But as a whole, it's a really good show. And yeah, like, the really interesting thing about this is that death means nothing in this show. If a character suddenly dies, there is a chance of you can get them back, which is one thing that I kind of appreciate with all the deaths happening in ReZero. because there is a chance you can get them back. But at the same time, the whole suspense, that the very, like, the weird feeling you have of thinking about the fact that, oh, you might not get this character back, is also kind of really crazy, because this show actually kills off characters. So yeah, like, like, it's kind of like, a little bit relief you have, that, oh, you might be able to get that character back even if that character dies. But then when you realize that, oh, you're not getting this character back, that's crazy, because this, as like I said, this show actually kills off characters, which is something that I am very not fond of. Like, characters dying, I'm not fond of that. So, but still, ReZero in itself is a solid show. It's just, yeah, like looking at Subaru suffering. So it's an 8-year show, which I said might go higher up if we get more seasons. Okay, I think this is called Ice Shield 21. I've not watched this though. I think this is like related to American football or something. So yeah, I've not watched it. That's why in the not watched list. Oh boy. And this is okay, Jujutsu Kaisen. Like I talked about this in the previous tier list as well, when I was putting Nobara in the tier list. So if you've not watched that section, you'll probably be shocked, but I've actually not watched this. Yeah, not technically not watched this, but I've actually watched the first few episodes. And I think I had like something came up and I was not able to continue this, and I did not continue, and then I just never got, like, the mentality to get back into this. That's basically what happened, and I will watch this, however, definitely, like, I plan on watching this on my own, because I've heard so many good things about it, but I will not judge it before I've watched it. I've watched the first few episodes. I think like first 5 or 6 episodes I've watched. That's it. So yeah, like, like, this must be a shock for a lot of people, because I've watched so many animes, and Jujutsu Kaisen being in the not watched list is definitely a shocking thing. So like I said, I am going to watch this in the future on my own. I just didn't, like, get, I wouldn't say enough time to watch it, but like that mentality, like I said, something came up when I was actually watching this, and I did not watch it for a long time, and then I never got back into it, that type of a thing. So yeah, I cannot say anything about this. It's in the not watched here. Madoka Magica. This is one show that I myself included in this, and I'm going to put this in the S tier. Madoka Magica is a show which you never should judge by its cover. The happy faces that the girls make in this show is all a lie, and I'm pretty sure it's not spoilers. Everyone must have watched Madoka Magica by now. So yeah, this is one of those shows, and I won't say much, but the whole premise of this show is so interesting, and I love the weird what can I say, that atmosphere that this show brings. It's such a creepy atmosphere, but it's so amazing in a way. Like, this is the type of a thing which I kind of got while playing Higurashi visual novel. I'm not talking about the anime though. I don't like the anime at all. The visual novel I'm talking about, like Higurashi visual novel or the Fate visual novel, that type of an atmosphere where it's actually really creepy, weird, and that type of a thing. Like, Madoka Magica brings that in, and it doesn't help the fact that the people who are getting affected are actually innocent girls. It doesn't help the fact at all. Like, if these were some, like, I don't know, like, not to discriminate, but if these were like some 30-year-old, like, muscular men, I wouldn't probably feel that bad. I would feel bad, but not that bad. But seeing, like, stuff happening to them, it's really crazy. And yeah, I feel like that even heightens the whole thing, the whole tension. It heightens it. And yeah, all in all, it's a solid show. Magia Record is also, I think, another spin-off of this, which I've also watched, and people did not like it, but I myself enjoyed it quite a lot. I don't know why. But obviously Madoka Magica, the original one, is definitely superior to that. Like, Madoka Magica is fantastic. It's in the S tier. So yeah. Oregairu. Okay, this is a show that I love. It's in the SS tier. Oregairu is I don't know why, but I love this show so much. Like there was so many sections that I just like, I just loved so much. Like this is basically like a school life show, you know. There's no crazy things happening, you know, but still it's really amazing. I don't know why, but this show had a what can I say, had so many sections which you actually needed to just stop and understand the characters, try to go into their head. And each person has like a different personality which has like a deeper meaning and deeper thing behind them. And it's just so amazing. I loved the whole thing about Hachiman being a character who just used to sacrifice himself, you know, which we never got to realize in season 1. But as season 2 came up, and as we saw little by little, we actually realized there's like a huge flaw in Hachiman. While Yukinoshita and what's the name, Yukinoshita, Yukino, and what was her name? Oh my god, oh god, I forgot her name, I'm sorry. But the other girl, it was something with Yukinoshita, Yukuno, I don't remember, I'm so sorry. Oh god, I feel so bad. This being one of my top shows, I actually forgot one of the girls' name. The pink-haired girl, you know, like we actually get to see that, you know, like these characters also have so much things going on with them. Hachiman having his own problems, and all these girls having their own problems, and how they did not like the fact that Hachiman is just sacrificing himself for other people, and like, you know, not asking for help, that type of a thing. It's really amazing, you know. I loved this show so much. It gets even better in season 2, and like, you know, like season 1 was good, but in the other seasons it gets so much better. And it has one of the best conclusions I've seen, the way it ended. Now I'm pretty sure a lot of people will disagree with me, the people who liked Yuigahama. Yeah, Yuigahama, I remember her name now. Okay, there you go. I'm pretty sure a lot of people who probably is this a spoiler? I don't think so. Please skip this part if you've not watched this show. You know, people who did not, like, you know, who liked Yuigahama a lot more, and wanted her to win by the end of it, they'll probably disagree with my thing. Like I said, that yeah, Yukinoshita, like, it has the best conclusion. But you know, like, I was in Yukinoshita's team, so by the end of it, the conclusion I'm very happy about. Yeah, so that's why, you know, it's this SS tier, one of the best shows I've seen. Spirited Away, I'll put this in S tier. It's a solid show. I love Ghibli movies. It's just amazing. And it's very recent that I watched the Ghibli movies. I reacted to them on my channel, and each and every one that I've watched are so amazing. If I had to rank between the Ghibli movies, I'll probably put Laputa a lot higher than Spirited Away. I know Spirited Away is a lot of people's favorites, but I loved Laputa so much. I don't know why. Like, if I had to put Laputa in this, I'll probably put it in the SS tier. But for Spirited Away, I'll put it in the S tier. It's a good show, don't get me wrong, but a lot of, like, you know, Laputa is another show that I just loved so much more. And you know, like, Spirited Away S tier. If I had to put Laputa, I'd put it in the SS tier. But other than that, yeah, Spirited Away is a one of those shows that I have always heard about, like Spirited Away and Totoro, you know, these two shows. And I recently watched them, and yeah, it's really good. Like, Ghibli movies, all of the Ghibli movies are good. Like, what am I saying? Like, all the shows are good. Yeah, in the S tier. Clannad. Okay, Clannad. I will have to put this in the SS tier. Definitely, Clannad. Clannad is it's a show that I think quite a few people don't know about. Whenever they talk about sad shows, they always bring up Your Lie in April or Anohana. I barely see people talk about Clannad, but people who watch this show knows what it is, especially the after story. Clannad, the first section is very basic. I feel like a lot of people probably just gets bored with that and just goes away. The reason why the show is like this is because it's actually a visual novel. I've played the visual novel as well, and all the girls have like separate routes, And the way it actually goes there is you go to the different routes, they kind of get together with the girl, the different girls, all the other girls, heroines that they had, and by the end of it, it kind of resets back, and you go do it again, and you go get those the spirit things, the little things that he, like, Tomoya used to collect, which came to him, which later on something happens. Those are very useful by the end of it. I'm not going to spoil it. I don't know how many people have watched Clannad, so I'm not going to spoil it. Those glowing balls actually come in handy in after story later on. It's for a big plot point. So that's how the novel actually goes. You go to the different girls, you actually get together with them, it gets resetted, you get those balls, and by the end of it, like, you go to the main heroine, that is Nagisa's story, and there you actually need those glowing balls, and those glowing balls do their thing, and you get a happy ending. That's basically the thing. That's why the first part of Clannad is kind of weird. A lot of people kind of get bored with it, but yeah, after story is fantastic. Clannad in itself is also really good, and it's very emotional. Just yeah, definitely watch this if you have not seen this. And another thing which I don't see people talk about is Clannad's comedy. It's fantastic. I don't know why people don't talk about it. I love Clannad's comedy. It's just so different, like, I don't know why, but it's so hilarious. Clannad's comedy is just fantastic. Like, Tomoya is a savage, number one, and Sunohara is just a goofball. Like, those two are just crazy together. So yeah, that's one thing I wanted to mention here. All right, the next one, Golden Kamui. Okay, I'll put this in the SS tier as well. Golden Kamui. Oh, a very underrated show. I think it's popular in Japan, but in, like, in the Western like audience, I barely see people talk about it here. But Golden Kamui is a really good show. You should watch it. If you watch this, if you have not. And yeah, like, like, it's with, like, it has not based, but it has a lot of things to do with the Ainu, like, the Ainu culture and everything. And I actually learned so many things after watching this anime. Like, I didn't even know like Ainu was like actual people who, like, existed in the real world. When I watched this show, I was like, okay, so this Ainu, these people are actually something that this show made up. But then one day I realized, and I noticed that no, it's not something that the show made up. It's actually it was a real thing. Ainu people actually lived, like, it's still there. And like, I was so, like, like, I then went and checked multiple articles and everything, and then I got to know more about those. So I didn't even know about that. So, like, seeing their culture and everything, I like their culture and how they do stuff and everything is one of the bigger portions of this anime, and I just enjoy them so much. Like, just them making the little what's her name, the girl, I forgot her name, Ashiripa. Yeah, seeing Ashiripa do, like, like, talk about their culture, and we see how, like, they kind of worship everything, they pay respect to everything, don't waste anything, like, give the respect to nature, and so many things that we see here, and how they make their food and everything. Like, it's so amazing to see that. And other than that, the action portions, the like, the suspense portion, the story in itself is really good. They're going to try to get the Ainu gold, and it's that journey. And I feel like season 3 was one of the best seasons, and it was so good. The things that happened there is fantastic. So yeah, if you've not watched this, you should definitely watch this. Golden Kamuy is amazing, and it's getting another season, which I'm definitely going to react to. Okay, next is Naruto. I'm going to bunch together everything, Naruto Shippuden, everything here. I'll put this in the S tier. Naruto is a show which has a huge nostalgic value for me. I've watched this while I was growing up. It came on my television and everything, and I used to watch Naruto, the first portion, on the television and everything. And I used to think that I would never probably get to watch Shippuden because it's never going to come to the television. They used to, like, it annoyed me so much. They used to do the Naruto, like, they even started Shippuden in the television, and they used to do the repeat broadcast over and over again. They didn't even, like, go forward. I was so mad, like, like, I was like, what the hell is this? They showed the same goddamn things, the same episodes each and every time. I'm like, why? Can't you go forward? There's a lot more episodes that comes after this. They never used to do that. And I used to think there that, oh my god, I'm never going to see this show. I'm never going to end this journey. But then internet became more prevalent and more, and then we got the internet, and I'm now we've all watched Naruto. But yeah, it holds a big sentiment, not sentimental, but nostalgic value for me. Naruto. I used to talk about this with my friends as well. Go to school and talk about Naruto. So yeah, a lot of memories. But as a show, Naruto is a really good show. And Shippuden and everything. There's just so many sections that was really amazing. The different plot twists and everything and all that stuff. It's really good. I don't have to say much about Naruto. I'm sure you know. So there you go, S tier. So yeah, all right, next one, Overlord. All right, I'll have to put Overlord in the A tier, unfortunately, because I like the show, don't get me wrong, but compared to all the shows in this list that I've put, I'll have to put this in the A tier. It's a solid show, it's a really good show, and it's going to get a season, a sequel very soon, and I'm going to react to it as well. But yeah, all in all, what I love about this show is that the whole thing about him actually being I wouldn't say a villain, but kind of in the morally gray zone, I would say. And that's one thing that I love the best about this show. And I love the whole overpowered thing. I love shows where the characters are overpowered. He's just overpowered so much. So yeah, a good show, a really good show. But for me, I'll have to put this in the A tier. Shaman King. Okay, this has the other one here, but I'm talking about Shaman King 2021 because that's what I watched. I have to put this in the B tier, unfortunately, because as a story, as the story and the show in itself holds a lot of potential. Unfortunately, the animation adaptation, I have to say, fails completely. It started in a really good way, but later on, as we go in, it just starts rushing stuff and just skipping stuff. All in all, we got to know the story, and after getting the glimpse of the story, I was very much impressed with Shaman King's story. It has, again, this is one of those unique shonens, where the villain, the main character, everyone has so many things going on, and it's so unique, especially the villain. It's really good, and there's so many sections in Shaman King which has so much deeper meaning and everything that I feel like the potential just lost completely when the adaptation came out like that, especially in the end. It was the ending section, it just completely just became bad. So I don't know, this is a remake, if it's a remake, it has a they actually failed like this. I don't know, maybe in the future if they get another remake, which I doubt is going to happen. I would love to see this show in how many, I would love to see them actually adapt this using 100 episodes or something. This this anime had 52 episodes this time. It would be so much better if it had I don't know, not even 100, 75 or 80 episodes. It would be able to do it so much well. But they had to skip stuff in the end, which I'm just so sad about. Yeah, as a story potential, it's a definite S tier, Shaman King. Unfortunately, the adaptation just butchers it. I loved, there's one part I really loved about Shaman King where I think the adaptation was done pretty perfectly, which is the Osorizan Love War arc. I think that's what it's called. No, the Osorizan, I think that was what it's called, wasn't it? Yeah. That arc I loved so much, I feel like that is the part where they adapted it so very really in a better way, and they took their time. I think they took 3 or 4 episodes to actually adapt it. That's how you should do the full anime, but they had to rush it. So Demon Slayer. Okay, Demon Slayer, I will have to put this in the unfortunately, I'll have to put this in the A tier. Again, Demon Slayer, I'm pretty sure a lot of people will say why A tier. Demon Slayer is really good, but comparing it to all of these shows, I'm comparing it, I'll have to put this in the A tier, because even though it's a really solid show, it's barely started. I liked season 1. Season 2 I liked so much more. Rengoku's arc was also really good, and I feel like the upcoming seasons will get better and better, hopefully. So I'm sure this will actually increase, but in rankings later on. But for now, I'll have to put this in A tier, because yeah, it's a good show, but it's still not there. I expect a lot more from this. And UFO Table is doing the animations, so if, like, the story gets better and better, it's going to be a fantastic one. So I'm looking forward to the upcoming seasons. I don't know how it will go. I don't know. I've not read the manga, so I don't know anything about it. So yeah, I'm expecting good things from this. Okay, I'll have to kind of, oh my god, I've been talking for 45 minutes. I'll have to quicken this a little bit. How much? Oh, we're almost at the end. Not almost at the end, but we're almost there. Okay, the next one, Akebi's Seller Uniform. Okay, this is a show that I very recently watched, and I'll put this in the A tier, because one thing I loved about this show is the animation is really gorgeous. I have to say it's really good, and I don't know. This has like a weird charm to it. This show, like I watched this. It came out very recently, I think, and it has such an unusual charm. I remember them doing the episodes in a way where, like, there's like so many characters, and like the main character, each episode, or like each episode was like kind of focused on like one of the side characters or something, and the main character used to go and interact with them, and they used to have like a moment, and that's how the show kind of went, which is something I kind of liked, because it kind of gave us more like details into the side characters as well, and we used to kind of like see what type of a person they are and everything, them interacting with the main characters. So like because of that, I kind of enjoyed it. And other than that, the whole what makes a slice of life show good is the normalcy. I think the normalcy of a slice of life show is the one thing that makes a show so much good, because it's a slice of life show. You just want everything to be normal, and like the calm and peaceful atmosphere and everything, it was just amazing. And them doing like normal everyday things and all, it was nice. And I do remember, like, this show I really enjoyed. And yeah, I think the manga is still ongoing. Maybe in the future we'll have another sequel or something. We'll have to see. One Piece. Now, okay, I'll put One Piece in not watched part, because I have watched the first few episodes. I like the first 100 episodes or something I've watched, and I've not watched from there onwards. Like, the thing about One Piece is, like, I've always been scared to start this show because it has so many episodes. I think most people are scared to start this show, because you need like a time and commitment to put into this. And I do know this is one of the best shonens, One Piece. I think I would have probably put it in SS tier if I watched this show, because the first 100 episodes that I saw was really good, and I've heard that it gets better and better. Now, the thing about One Piece is, as I started reacting to it in my channel when I barely began, just started my channel, and what actually happened is I realized that if I do One Piece, like, I'll only have to focus on One Piece. My channel will only be about One Piece for like 1 or 2 years, which I did not want to do at that moment. I wanted to watch multiple animes and react to multiple animes and talk about multiple animes. That's why I had to, like, not continue watching this, and I decided to watch this on my own, and I went to it till 100 episodes. And like I said, like, it's a lot of time, a lot of commitment you have to put into it, and for some reason I had to stop watching it, because of time and everything. So I don't know, like, I really want to, I like, now, even nowadays, I kind of think about maybe I should start reacting to One Piece again. But then I realized, like, if I start this show, like, like, it'll take away so much of my time that I won't be able to do all the other shows and all the other things that I do on my channel. Like, for example, this tier list. This is not, I'm not reacting to an anime. So that's why I always back down. So I don't know. I really want to watch this, but it scares me. Like, so many episodes. Like, god damn. But yeah, I've heard so many good things about it, and after watching the first few hundred episodes, I myself realized that this is one of the really good shows. And who knows, maybe someday in the future, when I get ample amount of time, if a day comes like that, which I don't think is probably going to happen ever, but I might start this again. I really want to watch this, but yeah. Okay, One Punch Man. One Punch Man, I would put this in the 8 tier again. I'm sorry, but it's a good show. But comparing it to all these show here, I'll put this in the 8 tier. One Punch Man, season 1 was fantastic. Like, one thing One Punch Man does really well is the whole parody and comedy. It's top notch. Love Saitama, he's just that type of a character. And another thing is, like, One Punch Man is just the absurdity of the whole power scaling is just so hilarious to watch. So all in all, it's a really solid show. um I don't know if we'll have, I'm sure we'll have future seasons for this, but yeah, again, since it's barely in the starting section, 2 seasons has happened, it's going to get higher up, like, as we get more seasons in the future. So for now it's in the 8 tier. I'm sure it'll get up. Another thing that I always want to talk about, and I've seen a lot of people say, is I really don't understand. Like, season 1's animation was fantastic. Yeah, it was really good. I think it was done by Madhouse. So it was Madhouse, wasn't it? Yeah. So it's top-notch animation. I've seen a lot of people actually really say, like, oh, the animation in season 2 is really bad. I don't understand why. No, I've seen it. It's really good animation. I really don't understand why people say that. Like, it's a different style of animation. It's a different studio, obviously. But like, watching season 2, I've seen that, I think, like, they had already had like a huge, like, a kind of pressure where everyone was like, oh my god, like, Madhouse is not doing season 2, it'll be bad. That type of a pressure was already there on the studio. But still, the effort that they put into it, I feel like it was really good. Like, I kind of, I don't know why, but I kind of felt while watching the animations is that they actually tried. They actually tried to do as best as they could. But still people was like, oh, it's not good. Like, season 2 is bad. I've literally seen people complain about this, like, in a comment section and everything. I've seen so many people say something like, season 1 was so amazing. Season 2 just got, like, it's just so bad, don't watch it. Like this amount of negative, like this amount of, what can I say, shift. I don't understand why. Like, it really blows my mind why, like, I enjoyed season 2 animation. So this is one thing that always baffles me. I don't understand, but I don't know, maybe maybe there's something else. Let me know if you, like, if you understand, because I really don't understand what is the problem with season 2's animation. I really liked it, and I think, like, it's good. So yeah, anyways, Bunko Stray Dogs, I've not watched this. I've not watched this, but yeah, so it's in the not watched section, and who knows, maybe in the future I'll actually watch it. But I've heard so many things about it. Vinland Saga. Okay, here we go, the first ultimate animes. Yes, definitely an ultimate anime, Vinland Saga. You're seeing how I've been talking about how animes need multiple seasons for it to get better. It's going to get higher and higher. Vinland Saga completely destroys that. In one season, Vinland Saga was able to achieve something that I don't think any anime will be able to do. It was perfect. I'll probably give it 10 out of 10 if I had to. Like, where can I start? This is one show that I never thought I would like this much. There was a time when I thought, like, should I watch this or not? When it was airing, there was a time when I thought, like, okay, should I actually watch this or should I skip it? I've just been a fool if I actually skipped it. I realize it now. But I have nothing but praise for Vinland Saga. Season 1 is so good, and I've heard it gets better. So, boy, season 2 is going to come very soon. I just cannot wait for season 2. It'll be so good. Oh my god. And yeah, Vinland Saga is just, like, so many things about this show. I've talked about this multiple times in my other videos as well. But I love the deeper because there's so many sections. I remember that one episode, not one, but there's multiple episodes. Like there's one episode where it was that episode where with that girl, you know, who stole something, and she thought that God is going to punish her. But then when she saw, you know, the Vikings coming in and, like, you know, just killing all these people, she realized how insignificant her sin is compared to all of them. She gets, like, you know, she gets so, like, you know, like she said, like, you know, I feel excitement within me, where I can see that these people don't fear God at all. I was fearing God by just, like, you know, just stealing something so insignificant, and these people are killing everyone, and they don't fear God. So, like, you know, like that whole, like that episode was just so creepily amazing in a way, I would have to say. Like it was one of those episodes. Another episode is where that the father talks about love. It's another one of the most beautiful things I've ever heard. The way he explains love to everyone, you know, how love is, like, you know, what everyone does is just discrimination. It's not love. Love is something where if someone gives to everyone equally. The dead body is love in itself. It's giving to everything, like, you know, like you know, animals are feeding on it, it goes back to the earth, and it's giving everyone equally, not discriminating anything. What we do is not love people, we just discriminate between people. Like that was one of the things that it took me a while to understand, but when I understood what he was trying to say, it blew my mind. And there's so many sections, like not only that, like there were so many sections that I just love about this show. Not only that, the animation is really good, the story is just fantastic. So yeah, definitely top anime, ultimate anime. I don't think this is going to come down anytime soon. So yes. All right, Attack on Titan. I don't know, this is a tough one. Ooh. You know what? Yeah, it's deserving of the SS tier, I think. I was thinking about putting it in S tier, but then I remembered that I just love this show. Like I think in season 3, yeah, season 3, yeah. Like season 3, Attack on Titan blew my mind. I just got reminded of that, and I was like, no, this is definitely SS tier. Like I don't know why, but I, like, you know, season 4 was also good. Like all the seasons are really good, but still the highlight for me in Attack on Titan is season 3, where we got to know everything, the secret, you know, like that 2 episodes where we get to know the past and everything, and the actual secret and everything. I was like, wow, what is this? That was my reaction to everything, how everything just, like how he, like, you know, the author just foreshadowed everything, and how it kind of like just attached, like, you know, all the strings together. It blew my mind. And yeah, this is definitely deserving of an SS tier. You know, I wouldn't put it in ultimate anime because, like I said, ultimate anime is a part where a few of the very, like, you know, special animes for me will be there. I'm not going to, like, you know, compromise in that section. Attack in Titan is really good, but I would not put it in the ultimate animes. It's in the SS tier. It's definitely deserving of that. What I love about Attack on Titan is that like, you know, like it actually changed from a whole fight Titan anime, like, you know, to an actually complicated story, which is really interesting. And yeah, like, you know, like in season 1 it was just fight titans. In season 2 also kind of fight titans, but we were getting to get all the mysteries. Season 3 blew my mind with all the mysteries coming out. Season 4 and, you know, like all of them, like, you know, this the final season, they started, like, you know, going more into the complicated politics and everything, and it became more complicated and complicated, and it's really good, you know. I just love how the whole, I wouldn't say this is a genre shift. It's not a genre shift, however, but it has like a thing like that, where it was just like a typical shonen anime where we just fight titans, to something very like, you know, interesting and more meaningful and complicated. So yeah, I like that. All right, the next one, Made in Abyss. I'll put this in the S tier because Made in Abyss is a show which has so much potential, and it's getting a you know, sequel, which I'm really looking forward to, and we'll see how this goes. I've not seen the movie, however, which I'm reacting to kind of now. I only saw season 1, and I'll watch the movie in the next week, I think, or the week after that, and then I'm going to start the new season that's going to come, reacting to it. But Made in Abyss is a show which after watching the first season, I realized it has so much potential. Number one, the environment is so amazing, and not environment, I would say, like the background, what do you call it, the world and the world building is so interesting. It reminds me of Attack on Titan, you could say, a lot, because we're in the abyss now, but there's like a whole world just left, which I don't know if they're going to cover. But for now we're in the abyss, just like how in Attack on Titan we were behind the walls, and later on we actually expand to the whole world. So I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen, but still, I'm so, like, it's so interesting to see like the abyss and the mysteries that it holds and everything, and the interesting things. For example, one of the layers has like inverted, it's so interesting, these like little things and all that. And I know the main characters are also like very very, very likable. And it's a show which is, it kind of can shock you a little bit. Like the season 1 really shocked me by the end of it. It was a very uncomfortable section, I remember. I don't remember much, but I am going to react to the movie again, which is going to recollect. I'm going to recollect my memory there. So, but I do remember it made me so much uncomfortable. So all in all, it is a show which has so much potential, and I'm looking forward to where this is going to go. Okay, Hibike Euphonium. I've heard so many things about this, but I've not watched it, however. So I'll have to put this in the not watched here. Shiki, again, I've not watched it, unfortunately. Yeah, so there you go. I have heard that it's very, I think it's one of those, it's a horror show, I do remember that. But yeah, I've seen a few clips from Shiki. It's crazy. Little Witch Academia. Okay, now, honestly speaking, I don't remember anything about this show. I've watched it, I've watched it. I'll put it in the A tier for now, because I really don't remember anything. It's been a while I've watched this, but I do remember they're like witches, and I do remember that. And I do remember the characters, there was one character with yellow hair. I remember that girl was kind of, a little bit, like, kind of like, what do you call that? A little bit of a person who did not like the main character, but later on they became friends or something. I do remember that. And then there was another girl, that girl kind of had like a really interesting character design. I don't remember that. Like a bluish green type of a, I don't remember anything, but I do remember these characters a little bit. So I cannot say anything. I do remember that I really liked the show, but I cannot remember what happened there. Nothing at all. I don't know why. It just completely my mind is blank now. If I rewatch it, I'll probably remember everything. But yeah, I like the show. I really like the show. Oh, I do remember one thing. There was like a person with a secret identity. Yeah, I remember that. One of the teachers, I think. Little by little it's coming back, but I don't remember anything. This is like one of the teachers who was like one of the very famous witches or something, and no one knew where she went, but she was actually in the place with a secret identity as like a teacher. She was working, something like that. I remember like all these things, this bits and pieces I remember. And then there was another guy I remember, one of the prince. That guy was a prince, I think. Yeah, he was like one of the male characters in this show. So yeah, all these things I can't barely remember anything. So yeah, anyways, I'll put it in the A tier. Akira. Akira is a really good movie. Yeah, it's a really good movie, and it's so so old, and still the things that they were able to do there is really amazing. I do know that I think Akira is getting like a something like a is it a remake, or I don't think it's a sequel. I think it's a remake, isn't it? Like, I've seen it. So yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to that as well. I very recently watched Akira. I just reacted to it on my channel, I think. Yeah. So yeah, it's a solid show, and so I'll put it in the S tier. I'm kind of trying to hurry up now. Oh my god, it's almost an hour. Oh. Or Taxi. Okay. S tier. I'll put Odd Taxi in S tier. I've watched Odd Taxi. It's a show which has such a twist in the end that it was crazy. It was so crazy. I remember the final episode as well. Almost at the end, such a twist happens that I was like, wow, this is what happened. Like, you know what? One of the twists I was able to kind of guess, like one of the main themes of the main plot of the show. Like, I think I won't say anything, it'll be spoiling. But one of the main themes of the show, what happens in the first episode, the whole, after seeing the CCTV camera footage, I was able to guess the actual identity, which I remember. And I was so hyped up. I was like, damn, I was able to actually understand what the secret twist of this anime was. But actually, it was not. It was one of the twists. And the few twists come after that, which really blew my mind by the end of it. I was like, wow, this is crazy. And after realizing who that person was in the end, it was just so crazy, like the realization and everything. Not only that, the final episode and the end, what happens, I was like, wow, they're going to do it like a cliffhanger. However, I think it's getting is it a sequel or what is that? I think Ortex is getting another sequel or something like that. I'm definitely going to react to when it comes out, but I don't know if is that an OVA or is that like a sequel? I don't know, but I'm interested in what's going to happen after that. Ortaxi was one of the hidden gems, and I don't think, I barely see people talking about it. It's very underrated. So yeah. Okay, Devil is a part-timer. I'll put this in the S tier here. Devil is a part-timer. Oh boy, this show. Oh, this is a show which I just laughed so much when I watched this. It's hilarious. And I had such a blast watching season 1. So I was so disappointed when I saw that it doesn't have future seasons and it's not happening. And I actually lost all hope. Started reading the manga. It's getting a sequel, I know that, and I'm going to talk more details about, or Devil is a part-timer on the day when I'm going to react to the first episode of season 2. I'm not going to say much, but there's one thing I was very disappointed about, because like I thought that this is never going to get a sequel. So I started reading the manga, and I do know what happens in the end. There's one thing that I was very disappointed about. I won't talk about it here, it'll be a big spoiler. So I'll talk about it in the day when I begin the reaction to season 2. I'll make the first portion where I talk about the intro section. I'll talk about it there. I'll put a spoiler tag with a little spoiler timestamp, and I'll talk about it there in detail. People who knows the story will probably understand what I'm talking about. And if you want to get to know my thoughts and opinions about it, tune in on that day, on that video, and go watch the spoiler section. I'll talk about something. And there's one thing that I was so disappointed about, that I actually lost all my interest reading the manga. But as a story and everything, I loved it, and that's why I'm not putting it any lower. I'm putting it in the S tier. It's definitely a solid show. But like I said, there's one thing that I was very uncomfortable, not uncomfortable I would say, but I was not happy about. I'll talk about it later on. If you don't know what I'm talking about and you want to watch the anime, like no need to go to like that spoiler. I'll timestamp it on that day when I watched season 2. I'll timestamp it by writing spoilers. No need to go there if you want to keep it that way. But for people who know what I'm talking about, it's for them, and I'll talk about it on that day. Not now, not in this video. I'm not going to do that. Okay, the next one, Dr. Stone. I'll put it in the A tier. I love Dr. Stone, but comparing it to all these shows here, I'll have to put it in the A tier. It's a solid show. I love the whole sciencey stuff that that happens and everything and all that. But yeah, and I do know, I think the manga is going to end, which is kind of exciting in a way, because that would mean that we'll actually have like a full adaptation of the anime. We are getting a sequel, and I'm sure we'll get another sequel after that. So I'm looking forward to that. Dr. Stone, what I love, like I said, the whole sciencey stuff and everything, and how Senku makes something so crazy with something very normal. It just blows our mind. and I learned so much things from this show. And it's really interesting. The whole survival aspect of this show is also really good. Like, like you just survive with the stuff, and the whole war, I would say, that's ongoing and everything. It's really good. So yeah. All right, the next one, Hanasaku Iroha. I think that's the name. I've not watched this. I've heard about it though, but I've not watched it. Like most of the anime that I've not watched, I've heard about all of them. Like I've seen the clips and everything I've seen, but I've not actually watched them. Hanasaku Iroha is one of them, so I cannot say anything about it. All right, Neon Genesis Evangelion. Okay, this is a show which, oh boy, this is a tough one to actually. I'll have to put it in the S tier. I was thinking about putting in the SS tier, but I'll put it in the S tier for now. I love the show. It's very complicated, like you'll actually have to like go to the like explanations and everything to understand what's happening. But I put it in the S tier because like as I said, comparing it all to all the others animes, in my heart, it's in the S tier. I cannot put it in the SS tier. I was going to put it, but I was like, no, S tier. Now, the reason why this show is so good is, first of all, it has so many sections with the whole psychological aspect and everything. It's just so crazy. It's creepy, but it's so interesting. And it's just, like, yeah, like Neon Genesis Evangelion is a show that I don't think anyone will ever forget about, because it's one of those classic iconic animes. And we recently had a conclusion to it, which a lot of people did not like. I do know, but I myself kind of enjoyed, not enjoyed, I would say, like I liked the ending. It was okay. I liked the ending. However, I would like to see, I don't think they're going to do that. I would have loved to see an actual ending with the whole main story where he ends up with Asuka. I would have loved to see that in a proper way, because I do know that in End of Evangelion it was kind of hinted that they ended up together, but nothing else. Like how, in the final movie, as we saw him getting together with, I think, Mari, that was the name of the girl. How just how they completely confirmed it. It was not in that way. Asuka was one of my most favorite characters in the show in itself, because I love tsunderes. So that's why I was a little bit disappointed because of that, because if Asuka also had like a proper dedicated ending to her, I would have loved this so much. Other than that, as a show in itself, it's a very good show. The whole, as I said, the whole psychological aspects and everything, it was really interesting to watch. And the things, the weird sections, the what can I say, the trippy sections, I would call them. And the whole looking at Shinji and actually understanding what type of a character he is, what problems each character has, it was so interesting to do that. Like every character here has like a thing going on, a mental, like a problem that they have, and the thing that they are suffering with. Like Shinji has his own problem, the whole hedgehog's dilemma. And actually understanding that little by little and doing it, it was a really good show. It's depressing though, however, a lot of sections, but it's a solid show. And seeing Shinji's character development in the final movie, I was so hyped up. I was like, wow, that kid he's like this now. That's one of the most iconic parts of this show. I just loved so much. I love seeing characters grow and develop. Yeah. Fate, the Fate series. I just bunched together all of them at the same place, Fate. I think a lot of people will be very surprised. I'll put this in the SS. I think a lot of people will be very surprised at this. SS tier, not in the Ultimate Animes. Fate is a solid show, but like I said, Ultimate Animes is just for one of the few animes that I just adore so much. Fate, I'm just going to call it Fate because I'm going to include everything. Fate Zero, Fate Stay Night, and everything. Fate is one of the best franchises, and the one thing that like, I just started the visual novel first. I read the visual novel first, then I watched the anime. That's how I did it. So I'm a big fan of visual novels, so I would have to say that visual novels is definitely better than the anime. Even the Unlimited Blade Works and the Heaven's Feel, because visual novels goes so much deeper into the characters and everything that it's so much better. But obviously, the animations of Ufotable is also something that is so good. So I would like to say that Fate as a whole is a very enjoyable show, and I'm so glad that I got into this franchise, because this is one of my most, one of those shows that I just love so much. um the thing that I love so much about this show is something that was not shown, actually given much about in Fate, like not shown much in Fate or the Fate Unlimited Blade Works or Heaven's Feel. It came up in Fate Grand Order, is that the whole thing about just so many different characters and heroic spirits, just being, just summoned, and how we get to know about them. That's one thing that I love about this show. Fate Stay Night, Fate, the Heaven's Feel, and Undead Blade Works also has them. Like the whole thing, all the spirits, heroic spirits there are, but it's for a limited amount, limited amount, and they don't go deeper into that. We just know this character is this, and that's it. Not much. The main thing that the show revolves around is the premise of the show, which in itself is very good. But the fact that the thing that I love so much about this show is that in Fate Grand Order, it kind of goes in a different direction, where we actually not only get to know more about the story, but also the heroic spirits that are summoned, more about them, and them interacting with us and everything. It's so enjoyable. I don't know, like it's probably, it's definitely not just me. I'm pretty sure a lot of people love this show just because of the heroic spirits, and I just love so much, like just kind of correlating, I would say, is that a word? Yeah. Them with like the original historic counterpart, and how seeing like, oh, this character is actually like this here, and that's something that really makes me so happy. Me being an Indian, obviously, the Indian servants and everything, seeing them there, and also kind of seeing their actual lore, not lore, but their actual legends and everything, comparing it to that, I'm so that's also one thing that really excites me. So because of all of that, the Fate franchise is one of the best. And if I had to talk about them individually, Fate Zero was really good. It kind of has like, I loved Fate Zero, that portion, the Banquet of the Kings, I think that's what they call, where Alexander talks about kingship with Arthur and Gilgamesh. That was one of the best scenes in Fate Zero, I remember. The backstory and everything, Kiritsugu's ideals, I would say, the way he does stuff, sacrifice few to save many, that type of a thing, and all those things. Fate Stay Night, all the three routes, I would have to put Unlimited Blade Works at top, because obviously best waifu Rin is there. Not only that, like the story in itself was really good. Then I'll have to put Heaven's Feel, and then the Fate route. Heaven's Feel is also really good. It goes in such a different direction, and the whole thing of how Shiro actually became a different type of a person, where he decided to not become a hero of justice and only become a hero for a single person. That was so interesting to see. Like Unlimited Blade Works is a hero for justice, Emiya Shiro. Heaven's Feel, Emiya Shiro is just hero for Sakura. So yeah, like these things. And not only that, all the other spin-offs, like Hollow Ataraxia, it's still not got an anime though. What else? Like Carnival Phantasm, Fate Grand Order, the food one, Amiya's cooking, that show. all these shows, I just love them. And as a franchise, I love the Type Moon franchise so much. Type Moon franchise has such a huge, what can I say, like world building. I think that was one thing that I would call it. It's crazy. It has like actual timelines. Like recently I'm getting to know all of this. I didn't even know about these. It has actual timelines and everything, and how it goes. Like it's actually a real actual a mini universe, that the author has created, which blows my mind. Like the world building is crazy in this show, which if you only watch Fate Stay Night, you won't be able to understand at all. So all in all, it's one of the top shows. SS tier, definitely. Death Note. S tier. Death Note is a really good show. Unfortunately, the biggest, I would have to say, the thing that actually makes this kind of, I don't know, bad by the end of it is, I'm sure everyone would agree with this to me, L's death. After that, it kind of gets a little boring. Before that, it was just amazing. Like, L versus Light was so crazy. After Nier comes, Nier comes in the show and everything. I don't know why, but it kind of became a little bit basic, I would say. But other than that, still, like even though it kind of lost that charm, the whole L, versus Light thing, that it just kind of went down. Like the whole thing after that as well was very interesting as well. But yeah, that's why I'm putting this in the S tier, because the first part is really solid. After that, it kind of goes a little bit, but all in all, Light Yagami was a fantastic character. Not fantastic, but a really interesting character. And yeah, like his ideals and everything, it was really interesting to see that. And I just loved L so much because of his wit. His wit is just crazy. I loved L so much because of that, the way he kind of deduced stuff. I like, when I watched this show, it just blew my mind. I was like, wow, what is this? But then, like I said, and then kind of it just kind of goes downhill after L dies. And that's kind of something that a little bit disappointed me. Other than that, it's a really good show. S tier, definitely. Charlotte. Okay, Charlotte. A tier. I would have loved to put this in the S tier, but you know what? That actually kind of ruins this show, especially towards the end. The way they kind of rushed it. That's the major problem that this show has. Charlotte is a very good show. If they actually took their time in, I think, telling the story, it could have been so much better. The last few episodes, in one episode, they rush it so much. I was very much entertained with the final episode, Don't get me wrong, the final episode was fantastic. But I think that how much better it could have been if they actually made the final episode into 2 or 3 more episodes. It could have been so much better. They rushed the stuff so much that it just completely, I was like, why? So I think majority of the people has that, like, that's the complaint majority of the people has with Charlotte, and I agree with that. That in the end, it just rushed it so bad that it could have been so much of a better show. Unfortunately, they ruined that. But all in all, Charlotte is really good. There were so many sections of Charlotte I just loved. And the story, the plot, and everything, the twists and everything was so good. I just loved it so much. And I'm not saying anything because it will technically be spoiling everything, but I do remember everything about Charlotte. I loved it so much, and yeah, like, as I said, the only grievance I have is that it rushes it by the end. And yeah, I would have probably put this in the S tier if the final few episodes were done a little bit better. But okay, I think the Legend of the Galactic Heroes, I think that's the name of the show. This is one show that I've heard so much about, but I've not watched it. And I think it's one of the really good shows. I've not watched it though. Like, I don't know if I'll actually make a reaction. I probably will not, at least not for now. Maybe in the future, like I do plan on, like, I'll make a poll, in the future. There's a few other shows that I'm thinking about watching, which are kind of big. For example, I would love to watch Kingdom. I know that the manga is a lot better, but I would love to watch the anime and then probably go into the manga. So I'm thinking about, like, that and a few other shows as well. Like, what's the name? God damn, what was the name of the show? I know that this is what happens to me, sometimes it just goes out of my mind, the name of the show. That show where the main character's name, I know the main character's name. Her name is Makoto Kusanagi, I think. Something like that. That girl. One of the... Why can't I remember the name now? Oh my god. I'm pretty sure you know what I'm trying to talk, which anime I'm trying to talk about. That one. That show. Like, that show, Legend of the Galactic Heroes, like, Kingdom, I'll probably put all of this in a poll and make a poll later on in the future, not now, like probably next year or sometime when I get enough time. But I do have plans on kind of watching either any one of these shows. Like, Kingdom is something that I've always wanted to watch, so maybe I'll do it in the future, not now. But unfortunately, I've not watched Legend of the Galactic Heroes, so I'll probably, like, in the future maybe I'll check it out. We'll see. So okay, Gintama. Okay, here we go. Ultimate Animes. There you go. Gintama, definitely Ultimate Animes. Like, I couldn't put it anywhere else. So yeah, Gintama is a show that I started, I wouldn't say recently. It's been a few years that I've watched this. Quite, I think like 5 or 6 years. But still, it was like, I started this a lot late. And I remember watching Gintama the first time, watched the first few episodes. I was not understanding it. I was very new to anime at that moment, not understanding anything and all that stuff. The jokes went over my head. It was a slow start. I dropped it. And then I saw a lot of people saying that, oh, like, like, just go, keep going, don't drop it. The first few episodes are kind of a little bit like that, but keep going, you'll be surprised. And 2 or 3 years after that, when I was like, like quite deep into anime and I understood a lot of those inside jokes, I started Gintama again, and bam, it became one of my ultimate animes. There you go. So yeah, if you are thinking about starting Gintama and you are not liking the first few episodes, keep going, you'll be surprised. And I have nothing to say about this show. It's perfect in so many different ways. The comedy is great. The fourth wall breaking and the parody is just top notch. There's a lot of jokes that will probably go above your head, but a lot of jokes, if you understand them, it's hilarious. Like I said, like, there's a lot of wordplay jokes, a lot of puns, a lot of things that you actually get to know more about. Japan. If you know a lot more about Japan, you'll understand a lot of knowledge about other animes you need to understand these jokes. These are the few things that kind of make it a lot, like, like, a lot of people who are new to anime will not be able to understand, and they might actually, this might actually put them off of this show. But all that aside, like, that's one of the greatest portion of this show, definitely the comedy and everything. It also has a really amazing story, which I will never forget. It is such a good story. And yeah, Gintama is definitely deserving of the ultimate anime spot. I would never put it anywhere below that, because yeah, this is a special for me. Gintama is just so good, and I was so sad when I realized that it's going to end. Yeah. Anyways, next one, Ishukan Friends. I've watched this, but I don't remember anything. It's kind of ironic, because I do remember the actual plot of the story, where I'll put this in the A tier. Like I said, it's kind of ironic because I do remember the plot where the girl forgets everything in 1 week. Everything gets reset. I do remember that. The boy makes friends with her, and he has to remind her every week that I'm your friend. And obviously there's like a little, like the romance, the thing, it's a shoujo anime. So I do remember that. That's why I'm saying it's so ironic that I actually forgot almost everything about this show. So yeah. Either way, it's so long. I watched it so long ago, so that's probably why I forgot most of the things. But yeah, like, I like the show very much. That's why I put it in the A tier, because I barely remember anything. Yeah, A tier. That's why. All right. Jojo's Bizarre Adventure. All of them at the one place I'll put it in the SS tier. Jojo is amazing. Oh boy. Jojo is amazing. And like I said, I put all the series in one part. I'm going to talk about them one by one. Part 1, I'll be honest here, I did not like that much. It was okay, but Part 2 was where it started getting really good, and I loved part 2. Oh my god, like, yeah, Joseph was so good. Like, Joseph is one of the best characters, and he's voice acted by the same person who voice acts Gintoki, which is even better. Gintoki from Gintama. So Like part 2 was amazing. That's where it started to like get better. Part 3 gets even better, you know. Part 3 first part was really good. I loved part 2, however, a lot better than part 1, where like part 1 had like that whole, I think the villain of the episode or something like that. Like in every episode had like one or two episode had like a certain villain, and kind of went in that way, which kind of, in my opinion, kind of is a little bit, kind of takes out of the immersion experience. So which is not the way where how part 2 goes. Part 2 is a lot different. That's why I think I loved it so much more than part 1 of season 3. Jojo part 4, I've seen a lot of people not like this part, but I loved it. Like it had like this weird slice of life type of thing. Not slice of life, I would say, but it had like that type of a vibe, which I think a lot of people did not like. But I enjoyed part 4 so much. There were a few sections which really kind of was a little bit weird. I do remember in part 4. There was so many sections that I was like, why are the characters acting like this? Like there were so many sections that I thought that everything could be resolved so much easily if they did something else. But there were so many sections I do remember as well, which I was mind blown, especially the ending part with that kid. I forgot the name of the kid that Kira gets, the person that Kira takes over. No, not Kira. Why I'm calling him Kira? No, his name is Kira, isn't it? Yeah. My mind is going crazy. Kira, yeah. The family that Kira goes into, and the kid, I forgot his name though. He really blew my mind in the final few episodes. Like the way he kind of did everything, I was like, wow, this kid is really good. That's one thing I really very much remember. Other than that, I enjoyed part 4 very much. I've seen a lot of people say it's not good, but I liked it. Part 5, one of the best parts. Like part 5 was really good. It was so amazing. The whole thing with the mafia and everything. It was just amazing. And if I had to rank them, I'd probably put part 5 on top. Oh, part 6. Part 6 is barely started. It's not ended, so I cannot say much about it. I love part 6. The way it started, I'm really enjoying it. We'll see how it goes. So I'm not talking about part 6 now. From the first 5 parts, I'll probably put part 5 on top. Then I'll put part 3, season 3 part 2, season 3 part 1, season 4, season 2, season 1. That's how I would put it. So yeah, that's like my ranking. So there you go. That's Jojo. Yeah, and what can I say? Like Jojo is amazing. Like it's just so many different scenarios and everything. The stand powers. At first it was Hamon, then it was stand, and yeah, it's really good. And the villains are also really interesting. If I have to say, I'll say that out of the villains, I loved Kira the most. I don't know why, but Diablo was good, but I feel like Kira was even better, and Dio is on another level. But like the whole, like the meme potential of Dio is amazing. That's why she's in a whole level. But as a character, I would put Kira above him. I'd put Kira above Dio. Then I would put Dio. Then I would put Diablo. And then I'm not talking about part 6 because I don't know anything about that. The Pucci, we'll get to know more about him later, I think. Who else? Who was the... Oh, season 1 was also Dio. Season 2... Yeah. Okay, so yeah, that's basically it. Like, Kira, Dio, Diablo. Yeah, that's how it goes. And the whole, like, like what was their name? Cars and all of them after that. Like, they were okay. But yeah, obviously these villains were a lot better. So yeah, that's how I would rank the villains in Jojo. Okay, enough about that. March comes in like a lion. Ultimate anime. Definitely. Now I think a lot of people you will be probably surprised by this. Like Ultimate anime, why March comes in like a lion is even more, like, above Attack on Titan, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. But like I said, this has a special for me. March comes in like a lion. I talked about this anime so much before as well in my other videos. but it's one of those really good animes that I never thought I would like this much. It's a shogi anime. I really did not think I would like it this much, but it's so much more than shogi. The characters are just so interesting in this show, you know, like each character has like their own thing, and I don't know why, but it's so like, you know, it has like a weird slice of life feeling where you look whenever you are with the three the you know the family, the three sisters, their family. When you're with them, you have this such a really fluffy slice of life feeling, but as soon as you get out of there and go to the real world, the world kind of starts crashing down, like, you know, that's how the whole show is. And I feel like the main character is also like that, like, you know, whenever he's with the family, he's so happy, but then when he comes to the real world, like, you know, all the problems and everything just starts crashing down. And he's a character who actually suffers from depression, and it was so interesting to see the world through his eyes, and the way, like, you know, we see him actually cope up with everything, deal with his problems, and become a better person, and become what can I say, like a person who is able to you know, go head to head with his depression, like that type of a, like, you know, development. I loved it. The characters are very interesting. I remember the characters, like, you know, even the characters who are like antagonistic towards him were so interesting as well. And I don't know, there's something about this show. Oh, Shaft animated this, you know, that's another thing that I feel like makes this show so much better. And what's the name of that the artist? I think Umino Chika, is that the name, Umino Chika? I love their art style so much, you know, this lady, the way she draws everything is just so amazing, you know, like I just love the art style of this show. I think her name is Umino Chika, that's probably her name. In Fate Grand Order, she did Oberon's art, the same person. And Honey and Clover is also drawn by the same person, I think. I've not watched Honey and Clover though. So these, like, you know, like these so many things all, like, you know, together, it was so amazing. And yeah, like I said, it's not a shogi show, it's a show which gives us so much more, and I would love to see a sequel for this, like, you know, I kind of like season 3. Yeah, I would love to see season 3, because season 2 is, I would put season 2 above season 1, because season 2 deals with something which is done in such an amazing way. The whole arc with the whole bullying arc, you know, I think it's like one of the highlights of this season. The way they do it, and the way I think Hina, that's the name of the girl, isn't it? The middle girl, the elder, what was her name? I forgot all of their names. The little girl is Momo, I think. Yeah, Momo, that was her name, wasn't it? I'm sorry, I'm so bad with names. It's just, I just forget about them. I think you know, the middle girl is Hina, and the elder girl, I forgot her name. Anyways, the kind of the way she kind of deals with it and everything was like one of the best things of that season. And season 2 has so many good parts. Season 1 was actually good. Season 2 makes it so much better. So, you know, like, this is, I don't know, like, you know, like I actually kind of hesitate to actually recommend people this show, because I think a lot of people will probably not like this. But me myself, I'm such a big fan of this show, you know, like it's just, there's something about this show that I just love so much. I don't know. So yeah, I would love if this gets a future sequel. Monogatari series, obviously it's in the ultimate anime section. Like I talked about this in my other video as well, the other tier list video. What makes Monogatari so much good is that it can make you entertained by just talking. The style of the show, the author is just a genius. The way he writes the story is just phenomenal. The characters, each and every character is best character except one. I don't like Sengoku Nadeko. I don't know why. I hate her. Other than her, all characters are god tier characters. Every character is so much good. And like, not only that, two people are talking. That's all what happens in this show. The way Shaft actually like animates it, it makes us entertained thoroughly throughout the whole conversation. The conversation is witty with some really amazing word plays, and it's like actually witty conversation, brilliant conversation, and some deep conversation happens. So yeah, that's Monogatari, you know. Like, you'll just be in one part, in one episode, you'll just be sitting in one part, two person will be talking, maybe they'll move around a little bit, with some weird visuals happening, and by the end of it you'll understand like the story has progressed, some things will happen, and there are fighting scenes as well, however. And like, since Monogatari is divided into so many parts, you know, if I had to rank them, I would rank two parts on top. The best two parts are Kizumonogatari, which gives the story of Oshi no Shinobi. Oshi no Shinobi being my ultimate waifu. That's why I very much prefer that Kizumonogatari than the others. Another arc again is related to Shinobu. My god. It's I don't remember which season it was, but the part where which has Shinobu's story, the whole time travel one. I loved that arc so much. It was so good, you know. Like, yeah, like every arc in Monogatari is amazing, you know. Like Owari Monogatari was really good as well. The whole thing with Ogi and everything, like it was just so good. So yeah, like I don't think you can rank Monogatari. All the art, like, you know, like seasons are good. So, but like I said, I would probably put Ikizumonogatari, and that I don't remember which season it was, the one which had Shinobu in it with the time travel part. These two a lot higher than the others. Then I would probably put Owari Monogatari, and then I would put all the others, you know, like all the others, Nisei Monogatari, Nekke Monogatari, and you know, Bake Monogatari, all that. That's how I would actually put it. So yeah, so there you go, Monogatari, you know. Like obviously the whole like, you know, like you know, like it has a few sections which people might say like, oh, like it's a harem show, like how good can it be? But like I said, like, you know, like even though it's a harem show, it's a show which just, I don't know, has something, like, you know, the witty conversation, the intelligent story, the entertaining animation, interesting characters, and all these, like, you know, combined, it makes this show one of the best. And yeah, there you go, the ultimate anime. Monster, I've not seen Monster. I've heard a lot of things, but I've not seen it. So yeah. Mushoku Tensei, okay, this show. For now, I will put this in the S tier. I think this will go in the SS tier as we get future seasons. Because Mushoku Tensei, oh boy, I feel like this has so much potential. The world building in this show is crazy. You actually think that you're in a real, like an actual world with so many things happening. And it feels like you're living in this world. Like, that's something that blew my mind about this show. Not only that, the story is interesting, really good, you know. Rudy, the main character, can be a little bit weird at times, you know. He might make you feel uncomfortable a lot of times, but you know, like, I think in the next the upcoming you know, the next season that we had, season 2, no, not season 2, part 2 of season 1 that we had, that a little kind of like reduces a little bit. Like season 1, he was weird in so many ways. Like, my god, there were so many episodes where I was actually uncomfortable by the way by the things that he actually did. But ignoring all of that, and I've heard that he gets even better, like, you know, from people who've read the right novels. I've heard that people say that, oh, like, you know, just bear with him for the first couple of seasons, he becomes a lot better in the future. So knowing that, I'm very excited. And as a story, it has a really solid story, and the world is just crazy. It's like an actual world. There's like kingdoms, there's things, there's like rules, laws, and like the all those things, like it's just amazing. So Mushoku Tensei, yeah, S tier. Like I said, it's going to go higher up as we get future seasons. I think it'll probably go to SS tier. Steins Gate, ooh, SS tier. I would have put this in the ultimate animes, but there's one thing that is the reason why I don't put it in that ultimate animes tier. I'm going to talk about it. First of all, Steins Gate is one of the best shows that I've ever watched. And why I put it in the SS tier and not in the ultimate animes, because it's definitely deserving in the ultimate animes, is because I think, like, this is what happens, you know. Since I read visual novels, I've also read the visual novel of Steins Gate. I enjoyed the visual novels so much more, like a lot more than the anime. Like the anime, if I had to say, like if the anime was like 9 out of 10, I would say the visual novel was 10 out of 10. Because when I read the novel, visual novel, it actually goes deeper into time travel. Like you'll actually learn a lot of things over there. Even though most of the things are kind of imaginary, it's so much interesting to actually get to know the, like, you know, like how everything works, the whole world line, timeline. And remember the attractor field theory, there's so much things in there, you know. Like I remember reading the visual novel and actually you know, kind of going back again, trying to understand what was the time travel theory over there. Like when I just went back, read the portion, I was not understanding, I'm like, it just went over my head, again went back, read it again. That's how much invested I was in the visual novel. It's crazy. It actually goes so much deeper into time travel that I love it, which is something that the anime completely skipped. That's one thing that I probably have to say is a little grievance that I have. But I do understand why they had to do that, because the anime would have been a lot bigger and huger if they included everything. Like a visual novel is like 50+ hour reading like, you know, time. How much can they do that in an anime? So, you know, like even though they did not include all of that, this anime is solid. You know, it's an SS. That's why I put it in the SS tier. It did it. The adaptation is so good. Like, you know, like here's the thing with visual novel adaptations. Most of the time it fails, you know. Thankfully, Steins Gate is one of the rare exceptions where it has not failed. It's good. The adaptation is really good. Another one is Clannad. Clannad is also another exception where the visual novel adaptation has not failed, you know. That's why, this is why I love visual novels so much, you know. Like it has a really amazing story. Like look at this. Clannad and Steins Gate both are in the SS tier. Both of them actually has visual novels. Fate Stay Night as well. All of them has visual novels. They're all in the top. You know, if they're adapted properly, these shows just are so much better, because the novel actually goes so much deeper into stuff. So adaptation is one of the key things in these type of situations. Like there's so many visual novels that failed in adapting it. One of my favorite visual novels, Grisaya, this Grisaya series, Grisaya no Kajitsu, Grisaya no Meikyu, and Grisaya no Eden, they failed adapting it. You know, the anime is good. I wouldn't say it's bad, but after reading the visual novel, you'll probably throw the anime away. It's so bad comparing it to it. So that's why I'm saying, you know, like most of the time visual novel adaptations just are completely bad, because they try to push into like 12 episodes, like 50+ reading hours. So if you take your time and do it properly, it's better. Like Clannad has 2 seasons. Steins Gate has also taken his time trying to adapt it, so it's good. So there you go. That's why I have put it in the SS tier in Steins Gate. The novel is definitely an ultimate like spot deserving, but the anime does skip a few things which I would have loved if they included. All in all, like, you know, if you ignore all of that, it's a solid show, you know. Like Steins Gate is the show that made me really interested in these type of science fictional, like, you know, things. And like the visual novel actually explained time travel so amazingly to me that I just got hooked to it. Like Steins Gate is one of the best. And Okabe Rintaro is voice acted by Mamoru Miyano. Another really good thing. I love Okabe so much, you know. Like Okabe Rintaro is a character who, I don't know, I'm pretty sure a lot of people will understand this who are big fans of this show, but he actually gives you courage. Like at first when you start the show, you feel like he's weird, he's like, you know, his the things that he does, his chunibyo antics, is annoying, weird, you might think of it like that. But in Steins Gate, the later portion, and in Steins Gate Zero, we actually understand that the things that he did was I don't know, like it gives you such a power, you know, like those moments when he gets into his Hyoin Kyoma persona, and when he changes, like, and he like, you know, like you get like an amazing boost of adrenaline whenever you watch the show. It happened to me. I don't know about you guys, but in Steins Gate Zero, especially that section where he became himself again, it was such a joy. You know, I would never, like, you know, this is like one of those rare feelings that I ever feel, like for a character in a show, where I'm like, damn, he's back. And yeah, like I feel like most of the people who watch Steins Gate will probably be able to share this feeling, what I'm trying to say. But yeah, like, yeah, Steins Gate is amazing. There you go, SS tier. Okay, teasing master Takagi-san. A tier, definitely. Yeah, it's a slice of life show. Teasing master Takagi-san is really good, you know, and it actually, I think it might actually get like a conclusion. I was not expecting the anime to actually have like a conclusion. I thought it would be one of those animes which just has 1 or 2 seasons and then it just stops, and then we'll have to read the manga, that type of anime. But it's after it's getting a movie, I'm thinking the movie will be the conclusion. So it might get a conclusion in anime format, which I'm really happy about. You know, this is one of those really cute shows. I feel like Takagi-san is that show which I wouldn't say it started, but it's definitely one of those shows which kind of started the whole one girl, one boy thing. You know, like 2 characters only, people focus on them. Like nowadays we have so many of them. You know, like there's like, you know, like Nagatoro, like it's not one boy one girl, but you can understand what I'm trying to say. You know, they focus on the main lead only. You know, Nagatoro, what else, Uzaki, what else, a few others as well. Another one that's going to start a few months later, not few months but a few days later, Soredomo Ayumu wa Yottekuru or something like that. That anime is also the same person, the same author. Anjo-san, it does not has an anime still. It will probably get in the future. Anjo-san, My Dress Up Darling is also kind of like that, if you think of it in that way. Like there's so many of them now, you know. But I feel like Takagi-san was like one of the first ones which kind of brought that thing into here. I don't know, I might be wrong, but I feel like Takagi-san is one of them. So yeah, I love this genre of the whole slice of life, one person, like, you know, the main lead is only on focus, that type of thing. And Takagi-san is, yeah, just really good. It's a really good show. I'm looking forward to the finale, which we'll probably have. Detective Conan, ooh, S tier, definitely. Detective Conan is a really good show. It's kind of like, if you think of it in that way, it's kind of like One Piece. It has like hundreds and thousands of episodes, but more than half of them are fillers. That's one thing, I guess. So why I actually, like, you know, for Detective Conan, I've actually started this so many years ago that I actually am caught up with it. That's why I'm not actually scared to go into it, because I know everything. Like Detective Conan is also, I'm pretty sure a lot of people who want to watch this and want to watch Detective Conan will probably get scared with the sheer amount of episodes it has. But like I said, there is like a very handy wiki page where you can go and see which are fillers. You can just skip the fillers and you'll probably get like the amount of episodes will come down a lot more. But as, like, you know, like as a show in itself, Detective Conan is fantastic. Oh boy, especially the episodes which contain the Black Organization, I think episodes, those ones, you know, the whole, those are amazing. I loved them so much. Like it was just one of the best, like, you know, like experiences I have. So yeah, Detective Conan is just, I don't know what to say. Like, you know, like it's like I said, it also has like a nostalgic thing for me as well. Like I used to watch this on my television when I was a kid. That's why I started this, you know, like watching the anime. And you know, it's, since it has so many episodes, it would take a little bit of time to develop, But if you think you want to watch this, you can, like, first thing that I said, you can go and just skip all the fillers. Like, the fillers are nice, if you watch it, but they do not put anything extra in it. So if you're scared about the sheer amount of episodes, just skip the fillers. It'll probably just amount, like, like I said, like, more than half of the anime is actually fillers. Like, just keep that in mind. Like, it has thousands of episodes, but more than half of it is fillers. So if you remove all of that, the amount of episodes that it has is quite decent, and if you watch all of them, you will really be entertained. I do know, I've watched it, so I know Detective Conan is amazing. And like, it's the, like, the thing that sucks about this show is it's so slow. Like, I do know the author who does this needs to make a lot of research and everything, but the like I've not watched Detective Conan for 1 year. If I go back to it, I'll just probably see that it has like 20 to 30 fillers, probably 10 to 20 actual canon episodes. That's after 1 year, that's probably the state. That's what kind of really makes me a little bit uncomfortable. Like, you actually have to wait so much. I'll probably get back to Detective Conan. Like I said, it's been like 1 year I've not watched this, but like, it probably has not updated much, because half of the show is fillers. So yeah, I'll probably go back again. But other than that, the actual canon episodes, amazing. It's really good. Just check it out. Like, if you like detective shows and everything. Like, there's a lot of characters in this show, and there's a lot of really cool characters. That, like, it's amazing. Just, yeah. Okay, enough. Violet Evergarden. Okay, again, S tier. I'll put it in S tier because, yeah, Violet Evergarden. What can I say? Gorgeous animations, really emotional, and yeah, it's a show that really shocked me, because there's one episode that I was not expecting. It was episode 10, I think, Mother's Love. I think that's one of the episodes that everyone knows. It was one of those episodes where I really felt emotionally, just, it just broke me. It's so much the way it went. And that's one of the main highlights of this show. I remember all the other episodes were sad, but that one episode I will probably never forget, ever. So it's a really emotional show, and it can bring out your emotions so much that it's crazy. And I'll like, if you like these type of animes, I'm sure you have watched Violet Evergarden, but if you have not watched this, if you like this type of an anime, which is kind of sad and very, kind of like Clannad, you'd say, a lot like Clannad. Yeah, like, give this a try. It's going to make you depressed, I know that, but it's good. It's really good, so good at the same time. Animation is gorgeous. Like, the animation is really gorgeous. It has a really good story as well. So there you go. How a person, like, I'm like, I'll not be okay. You know what? Nah, I'm not going to give the synopsis. Like, I was going to say what the actual story is, but no, I'm not going to do that. Like, you can check it out on your own. So yeah, all in all, it's a really good show. You Lie in April. S tier. I'll also put this in S tier. So Your Lie in April is okay. I don't remember much about this show, but I do remember it was extremely sad, especially in the end. I remember the ending few episodes. It's very much clear in my head. But other than that, everything before that and everything, it's kind of hazy in my mind. But I do remember the final few episodes, and because it was so impactful and it's so sad, like, it just hits you, that final few episodes, and it's just crazy. And like I said, like, a lot of people kind of, when they talk about sad animes, they bring up Your Lie in April. Definitely one of the sadder ones. It's one of the very, like, another one of those emotional shows. Like, it makes you attached to the characters, and then it just scars you emotionally. God damn. I love doing that. So yeah, like, 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 the thing, what, like, now that I'm thinking about it, why Clannad is so like, you know, in SS tier while Viola in April is in S tier is because of, probably because of the ending. However sad Clannad is, it actually has a happy ending, and like I said, like, and I really love happy endings. I don't actually prefer sad endings. So that's probably why Clannad is in SS, and it was my, probably my personal preference, you know. And while Viola in April is in S tier, because Viola in April, nah, it's I wouldn't call it a happy ending, no, you know. Like, it makes, like I said, it makes you attached to a character and then just scars you emotionally. Planet also does that, but it actually makes everything okay by the end, unlike this show. So yeah. I'm a huge fan of happy endings. That's why it'll always get a preference in my list. So yeah, there you go. That is my list. I don't think if there's anything left. No. So here it is. Like, I'll make a screenshot and like, and I'll just give it in the end. So there you go. That's my opinion on all of these shows. Like, there's a lot of section you probably will be very surprised and will be like, oh my god, this is that high up, or oh my god, this is that low. No, but like I said, it's all like, you know, like according to my opinion, my preference, and everything. And yeah, the ultimate animes, as I said, is something that is very special to me, and like, I don't know, it has like a special place for me, and that's why I did not put a lot of them. I put 4 of them, and these 4 are like the top for me, and I just love them so much. SS tier is also very good, you know, not as like, you know, in that same position as the ultimate animes, but really good. Obviously S tier is good. A tier and B tier, I didn't even put anything in the B tier, only Shaman King, because the adaptation was really bad, you know. Shaman King in itself, also the story, like I said, is like an S tier or an SS tier story. So if the adaptation was good, this wouldn't be here at all. This would have been a lot higher up. So B tier wouldn't even exist. Like, damn. So there you go. And all these not watched shows, yeah, like, you know, there's a few of them that I really want to watch, which I will probably watch. I'll definitely watch Jujutsu Kaisen on my own. Code Geass, I plan on reacting to it. Legend of the Galactic Heroes, this one I also, maybe I'll check it out in the future. And Monster as well, probably. Like, there's a few of them that I'll probably check out in the future. Yeah, so that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. My god, my throat is hurting. I've been talking for 2 hours straight, and I knew this would be very big. Like, god, I'm tired. So yeah, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. This was my tier list for my top animes. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, or you haven't subscribed. Comment down below anything you want to say, anything you want to let me know, and I'll check them out. Like I said, after this is uploaded, 1 day later, I'm going to make another community post where I'll bring up the next tier list theme, and you can nominate your stuff. So yeah, after 1 day after this uploaded. There you go. So that's it. Let me know your opinions on this list, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. So until then, goodbye and have a nice day.